So the answer to the question is I oppose TPP, and let me tell you why. Marines have a very simple ethos. It's the ethos that is responsible for my being here today. We leave nobody behind. We advance together, leave nobody behind. My Marines would have never left me behind. But that's exactly what we've been doing now for decades with our approach to trade. We've been competing on the basis of lower wages and fewer protections for our workers and our environment. And it's a losing game for us, and it's a betrayal of the American dream. So I'm tired, myself personally, of us having two separate conversations. Trade, yes, no, and then a separate economic conversation about what kind of economy ought we have. So proponents of trade vote for these trade agreements, they move forward, and then we get on to what kind of economy ought we have, and they say, well, people are on their own. Well, those two things are intimately linked, and we need to bring those conversations back together. So we need to develop an approach to our economy where we do all advance together. It wasn't so long ago that John F. Kennedy said a rising tide lifts all boats. We can do that again. That begins with the question that was asked about trade schools, about apprenticeships, investing in our community colleges. It begins with an approach to raising wages. We need to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour, and we need to index it to inflation. And we're in a union hall. We need to make it easier to organize, not harder. Conservatives and corporations have been attacking unions with 1,000 little cuts for decades now, and too many Democrats on one little vote or one little vote here or there think, well, that's not a big deal, until the bottom falls out. And we've got to turn that around, because it has never, ever been the case that corporations gave a livable wage, benefits that you could retire in dignity on, and that you could raise a family on out of the goodness of their hearts. They gave it because there were unions there to demand it, because workers had fought and sometimes bled for those unions. And we need to, as elected officials, stand behind them. And lastly, given where we've gotten, we need to be bold about providing real retirement security in this country. Employer-provided pensions are going away. The middle class is being squeezed such that it's hard enough to do right by your kids, let alone put aside the kind of nest egg you need to retire in dignity on. That's why I have proposed to expand Social Security, to provide a new Social Security Part B, which would raise basic benefits by $11,699, that would provide a real cost of living adjustment that actually is key to the costs that seniors face, including prescription drugs. This is something that I have experience with working with Senator Carper. I was working with him when the federal government passed the largest expansion of entitlement program in our history. We covered prescription drugs for the first time in Medicare. People thought the sky would fall. This was radical. We can't have this huge expansion of entitlements. Has the world ended? No, but seniors have coverage for prescription drugs, and we have something to work on and we need to improve, which is we need to go back and make sure that Medicare can negotiate for prices for prescription drugs to save the taxpayers money and save seniors money. So we need to think big, and we need to think seriously about how we really, genuinely rebuild the middle class in this country.